A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today our topic is elements, compounds and mixtures, and we will continue talking about elements. Today our focus will be types of elements. This is what we studied in the last class. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down into any other substance. Every element is made up of its own type of atom. This is why the chemical elements are all very different from each other. Everything in the universe contains the atoms of at least one or more elements. The periodic table lists all the known elements and groups together those with similar properties. This is what we did not study in the previous class. So this table of the groups and classes of elements is called the periodic table, and they are grouped according to their properties. Let's look at the shape of the periodic table. This is the periodic table, and it lists all the elements that exist up till now, that have been discovered up till now. Some of them are naturally existing, made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and some are created artificially by the scientists. You will study the periodic table in detail in your later classes. Let's focus on types of elements. Elements can be metals or non-metals. Now, what does that mean? And what is the difference between these metals? We will be going over the details of this in the later slides. Over here, we have some examples of metals and non-metals. Magnesium, aluminium, copper, zinc, lead, gold, and silver. All of these are metals, and some of the non-metals are hydrogen, helium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, chlorine, and argon. Now let's see what is the difference between metals and non-metals. Metals are shiny, especially when they are freshly cut. They are hard and strong, whereas non-metals are dull because they do not reflect light very well, and most of them are weak or brittle. Metals are dense, that is, their atoms are closely packed together, and that is why they are heavy for their size, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Whereas non-metals have low densities, that means that their atoms have larger spaces between them, and therefore they are light for their size. Non-metals are mostly poor conductors of heat and electricity, but graphite, which is a non-metal, is a good conductor of electricity. Metals have high melting points, so that they are solids at room temperature, except mercury. Mercury is a naughty metal which is a liquid in room temperature. Metals can be drawn into a wire and hammered into shape, whereas non-metals have low melting point and boiling points. If they are solids, they are usually weak and brittle, while many are gases. So many of the non-metals are not present in the solid form. They are in their gaseous states. Metals are sonorous, which means that they make a ringing sound when you tap them. A few metals like iron, cobalt, and nickel are magnetic also, but most are non-magnetic. Non-metals are not sonorous, that is, they do not produce a ringing sound when you tap them. All non-metals are non-magnetic. So some of the metals are magnetic and some are not, but non-metals are never magnetic. That's all for today. See you next time. Allah Hafiz. Jazakallah.